he's somebody essentially who's not just the chairman of the Hiranandani Group, but he's done so much for society. So all of Powai, anybody from Powai? Okay. They came in the second batch. They're too scared of you. But the chairman of the Hiranandani Group, he's somebody who's done so much for society. He's someone who heads the HSNC universities. Basically, he was the chairman of the university, like the provost, when I was studying in college. So I had the good fortune of troubling him right from when I was in college, and I continue to trouble him even today. It gives me great pleasure and privilege to be able to welcome someone who's been a former advisory board member at I.I.M.U.N. and continues to be a friend, guide, philosopher to everything that we do at I.I.M.U.N. We always ask him, saying, are we on the right direction, sir? And he says, Rishabh, minus your hairstyle, everything is okay. But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, absolute privilege and pleasure to be able to present to you Dr. Niranjan Hiranandani. Many of us in school dream of creating our own cities. Like we draw in school saying that यहाँ पहाड़ है, वहाँ सूरज है, छोटा सा घर है. वो घर कभी-कभी शहर बन जाता है. Sir, you have essentially lived the dream. You've created the city. Your success, sir, is something that is well documented. And because I know you, I'm going to start by asking you this question. Sir, can you tell us about a failure in your life and how you overcame that failure?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me. It's always fun to be with students, and I love the interactiveness of engaging with students. So I hope that I will have engagement directly not only with Rishabh but also with students, because I think that's the best story that one can always tell. In anybody's story of success, there is always failures. If you don't have failures during the period of your success, you're either not telling the truth or you're not telling it completely. Because every person who has risen to any success, so let's say people who are champions in academic excellence, for example, your schools, you'll always find that at some point of time that you have not done so well in some subject or the other, even though you are otherwise academically great. Champions who play cricket, you know many times that they get out for a duck. And there are also going to be times when there are Olympians who really play the games, but in reality they don't always at all point of time do success. So whether it is business or it is academics or it's about any other item of work, every person who has done a long innings is bound to be not so successful in some. And I have plenty. I think I'll spend another 5 hours if I have to tell you the failures that I've done. But also, fortunately, you already mentioned some of the successes. So in every person's history, if you read biographies of people who are very successful, you'll always hear that they're going to be failures in their success. So many times when they are running a thing, you want to climb Mount Everest, there are many people who are going to fall down, who will have problems, who are going to get injured. There are people who are champions in sports, who get sports injuries. And you find they are out of action, whether they play cricket or football or any other game. I'm sure many of you have had sports injuries. So you're going to fail at that point of time. But failure is a good part where you learn a lesson. You don't make the same mistakes. So you don't fall down in the same way, even if you're not so successful on your way while you're going to it. As long as you know that the path is correct, you're in the long run, you're bound to succeed. But don't look at failures as a part of dejection. Of course, we are all disappointed. We are human. We feel hurt when we fail. But in reality, if you learn a lesson from your failure at the time when you have failed, it's actually a learning which you do. So the part of failure during your path of success or your life, of any endeavor that you do, you want to be a champion in your class academically, or you want to be champion in sports, or you want to be champion in dancing, anything that you do, you'll have times when you actually get into competitive exam where you may not be as successful as you would like to be. That's part of life. So, Niranjan Hiranandani, life is also full of that. We've had many failures, but fortunately for us, when the goal is straight and you keep your endeavors and your hard work and your head on the ground, your feet on the ground, and then you keep on doing it, you are going to win in the long run. So it doesn't matter where you come. And the best part is that it is not necessarily the person who is the brightest who actually makes great successes. And there are thousands and thousands of examples in history, in biographies that you will read, that people who may be just ordinary in the normal sense of the term become highly successful. So it's not only the brilliant minds who make success in their lives. Of course, it's wonderful to be brilliant, and we should try to keep the sharpness of your brilliance on if you are already brilliant, and that becomes an advantage. But don't worry about failures. It's a path to learn and then move to the next level.
It's a path to learn and then move to the next level. Whilst they're leveling up, and this is also my question, is that a lot of people from I.I.M.U.N who used to work now are running businesses, and they get enamored by Shark Tank. They look at Shark Tank and they say, wow. They look at sharks in tanks, and sometimes I talk to them and I tell them that there is a small difference between sharks in tanks and whales in oceans. Niranjan sir, you are a whale in the ocean. And what is your message to young people? Should they focus on valuation or should they focus on value creation? Because sir, it's well and good to say it when it comes from a place of privilege that you come, or from lineage that you come, and then you tell someone saying that this is what you should do. But for an upstart who's starting out at 17 with nothing behind him, should he or she or they be focused on valuation or value creation?
Valuation and value creation comes at the third or fourth level. The first is to identify an idea. You have to identify an opportunity. Then you have to see your skill sets. Then you take and work on those skill sets. Then you create a proposition. And then you move forward and say, what is it that we want to do? Do we want to do a valuation and make money, which every business is all about? Or are you looking at a value creation, which is a service to humanity? So if you want to look at short term and you want to look at a short goal, valuation is extremely important. The bottom line, the profitability, and all those aspects of it in the beginning of life is a need. You have to do it. There's no option really to do that and say, I'm creating a valuation or any other aspect of it. Certainly you want to make a profit in the business you make, and the bottom line becomes extremely important. But in the long run, the times have changed. We find that there are many people who bring in a value proposition. And today, there are a large number of people who are willing to invest with you as a startup, and they look at you by saying that in the short run, it's not value, there is a value creation, and the valuation is not there at the initial stages of this business. And you look at the opportunity. So my view is, you first look at the opportunity that is available to them. For example, let's take the situation of COVID. When COVID landed up, we were all locked up in our homes, and we couldn't resource what we wanted to do. So what did we do? We looked around and said, who can actually deliver goods to us? And people who got into e-commerce actually delivered all the goods to your house, and you were able to do it. So those who identified this opportunity looked at this as a value creation for an opportunity did this that. Now, just to scale up this idea in a very big way, let me tell you one or two or three items where this kind of idea created huge corporate entities. Take the case of Uber and Ola. Normally, when you enter in the business of business, we think about capital, we think about debt, we think about buying an asset and then running it. So you have to, if you want to run a taxi business or a private car taxi business, what would you do? I would buy cars, one car, two cars. I would put some money capital of my own. I would borrow some bank debt and I would do that business and take it up. Ola and Uber didn't do that at all. What did they do? They created a technology platform and they made zero investment in the cars. They made zero investments into the running of those cars. They made zero investment in the maintenance of the cars. So they got people, other people, to invest into the cars and then give it to Ola or Uber, who actually used a technology platform and ran the company and created a value proposition without a zero. Of course, they did invest into technology. There was a very important thing. They invested into training, but they didn't buy or invest into any hard assets. So what was it that they saw? They saw an opportunity, a value proposition in the COVID times, and it grew out of proportion. I'll give you another story. A story of a housewife. A housewife at home, she brought up two children. And as the children grew up and they became teenagers, then they went to college, and the mother suddenly was left with nothing to do at home. She was educated, not so much, but she had never done a job in the 15 to 16, 17 years after marriage, and she had children. So she was confused. She didn't know what to do. But she was very fond of baking. So what did she do? She started baking for friends. And she said, if you want anything to be made, you want to order cakes, you want to order pastries, I will give it to you. And she started the small business of making cakes and pastries, birthday cakes, anniversary cakes, pastries and other things for the functions, cakes and pastries and puddings for the dinners and the parties that you had. And she took up this order. Her husband was a senior vice president of a very large multinational corporation and earned a bomb, huge salaries that he had. The wife started this small business just to occupy her time. And she said, but she identified an opportunity. Sooner, she found out that lots of people liked her cakes. And she really was able to get many orders. And then what happened is, some friend of her advised, why don't you go on social media and advertise what you are doing and get the orders on the internet? And somebody guided her. Her husband put her across to some friend who actually set up this internet facility and went to social media and do it. I'll do a fast forward because otherwise the story is too long. In 2.5 years of their company, she not only bakes cakes at home, but she has a back-end kitchen which orders at least 50 to 70 cakes a day, does other baking, and now a 5-star hotel has decided to close their bakery back end of their hotel, and they order all this from her for any and every order that they want to do. And one more, she earns 5 times as much as her husband, which is a senior vice president in a multinational corporation. So it doesn't mean that if you're not there, or you've had a gap in your life, or there is an opportunity which other people don't see, she has a passion, she has a desire, she wanted to do hard work, She wanted to make her thing work. She did all the best efforts that she could do. She tried it out with her friends. She gave that opportunity to do. And then what happened? It just grew and grew and grew, and it's grown into a big company at the back end, and she just does it through the internet and through social media and the other thing. Why am I sharing this with you? What I wanted to tell you is that people wrongly believe, मेरे father के पास इतने पैसे नहीं हैं. I don't have that opportunity because I'm not such an intellectual person. I'm not so clever. I'm not so strong. I don't have this support from my family and other things. The great successful people in life never bother about that. They don't look back and say, हमारे पीछे कौन होना चाहिए. They look at it from their own point of view and be able to take their own example and then use these particular ideas and thoughts in order to move forward in life. So, just to share with you, my friends, young friends, that opportunities are plenty there. You can make excuses and achieve nothing in life. Or you can see what opportunities are there, and even if you can do new things, little things, big things and other things, there's always an opportunity for you to create new ideas and things. An idea of I.I.M.U.N, for example, is a different idea which nobody else had, and he's able to take this forward to the next level. So, I wish you the very best, including you, for the wonderful ideas that you have at the younger age. This country is growing forward, so the GDP of the country is very high. We are already a $3 trillion market cap of our GDP, and in the next couple of years will be $5 trillion, which means that the opportunities in India is going to grow tremendously. All you got to do, think different, be passionate, work hard, and you will be able to be very successful in so many things that you have. If a housewife can do it, why can't you?
The intensity of the applause at the start and after this answer remain the same, which basically indicates and shows the level of interest that they have in the conversation. So you rightly said that anybody can make impossible into impossible. It's just the conviction that you need, whether it is baking cakes or whether it's building cities. So very humbly did not utilize his example, but his example is a stellar example to follow as well. That's he believed in an idea when nobody else did. He took over a piece of land when nobody else believed in creating cities like that, and then eventually he's built the city that many of your friends stayed, called Powai. But so you spoke about an India that is rising. You spoke about an India that is developing and developing at a rate, and the biggest benefactors are the ones who are sitting in front of us. What are the 3 life skills that they should be having for a Viksit Bharat in 2047?
The first and foremost is the ability to learn. Always be a learner. Because there are so many new things happening all over the world in terms of opportunities, ideas, thoughts, systems, enabling equipment, the internet, social media, capabilities of your mobile phone to be as powerful as one of the most powerful computers in the world. So the ability to learn, not in school, not in college, not in postgraduate, not when you're starting work, but every possible day of your life till you are living. I'll give you an example. My father was a very famous doctor, the ENT surgeon, Dr. Hiranandani. He was Padma Bhushan. He was one of the best ENT surgeons in the world. He was recognized that by the American Society of Head and Neck Surgeons. One day, I was very fond of him. I was very close to him. And I do believe he was also fond of me. But one day, when he was 82, he tells me at 6 in the morning when we used to meet up, early in the morning, have a cup of tea together. He said, I'm going to Germany to learn a new operation. I said, Dad, are you crazy? At age 82, you want to go and learn a new operation? Why? What's going to happen? He said, because that doctor in Germany has learned a new operation of the year. So I want to go and learn from him. I said, who is this doctor who is cleverer than you? So he said, Dr. Plester in Germany. I said, Dr. Plester, isn't he 20 years younger to you? So he must be in the 60s, early 60s. So I said, he said, yes, he's much younger to me. And you want to learn from him? He said, yes, because that's the new operation that he is doing. I said, Dad, wasn't he the same doctor who 10 to 12 years ago came to learn an operation from you? My father had done a special operation which was the cancer of the tongue flap. And he's written a book on that also, and the technology of that. And this Dr. Plester had come from Germany 12 to 14 years earlier to learn that operation from him. Now he was ready at age 82 to go to a junior doctor to him, one who was his student, and go and learn from him. And he did go to Germany. So, whether you're in school, whether you're in college, whether you're in postgraduate, whether you're in the business of business, whether you're a teacher, whether you're anybody in life, the secret of life in this day and time is not to finish your education at any point of time. You have to be a learner all your life, otherwise you'll be left behind. So, be a learner all your life. Take an example of that, because the world is moving so fast. Fortunately now, it's very easy to be a learner. You don't have to go to a class all the time. There's so much available on the internet. There's so many courses which are available. Some of them are even available free of cost. Coursera and other courses which are available at the graduate and undergraduate and postgraduate level. There are skill sets which you think you would like to learn. They are available to be learned over there. But be a learner all your life. It doesn't matter whether you're 8 or 80. It doesn't matter. Whatever is the days of your life that you have, be a learner. Keep learning, keep improving, keep getting better. That's the only way to go. So that's a skill set that you have to be a learner. The second thing, second most important thing that you need to do is to be focused. Unfortunately, we get distracted very easily. We have an objective that we want to learn. You want to learn a song, you want to learn a subject, you want to learn a dance. You just don't want to focus on it to make it the best dance or the best song or whatever it is. Learn to be focused on what you do and then keep getting to that target. And if you are focused on it, then you will see the results will come. It may not come today, but it will come tomorrow. And the third part of it is learn to enjoy what you do. Many times I find people who go to work say, oh God, I have to go to work. When can I get back home? In life, you have to learn to make your work a joy. If you make your work a joy, you'll never get tired. Do you get tired when you are making fun or enjoying? No. But you get tired when you're working or studying or whatever it is. In life, the secret is just make a joy of what you do. I make buildings, I build buildings. There's a lot of hard work in making buildings. Obviously, you understand that. But if every time I do a new building, I just enjoy it. Whether it's the creating or the thing. There are lots of problems in getting the buildings done. As you know, small works and jobs are also difficult to do, but the building is good. So if you make your life, your work, a joy, you will be happy all the time. Not only the time when you're going for fun.
what he has elucidated in 3 points is something that I can vouch for definitely, because he actually follows this. I've seen him, so I don't know whether you recall, but in 2016 we'd gotten a group of students who were a part of I.I.M.U.N. Some are actually now elected members of government from that, and that leadership cohort we had gotten to meet Niranjan sir at his office in Powai. And as a bunch of people sat down and we were talking to him, and we asked him saying, "So what is the one skill set that you think that people should have?" And he said, "To be forever learners." And then we looked at him and he said, "Wait, let me demonstrate." And then I think it was your grandson's birthday, somebody in your family's birthday, for which you were learning how to play the Casio or the piano, and you had an application for that. He removed his iPad and he showed us saying that, "Look, I'm trying to learn this right now so that I can play Happy Birthday for my grandchildren." Am I correct? That he could have got anyone to sing Happy Birthday for his family, but he chose to do it himself because he wanted to pick up that small life skill. And therefore, whatever he's saying, he is a stellar example of that himself, and therefore I'm incredibly grateful. But sir, there is a gremlin that young people face, and that is the overexposure sometimes to social media. It's both a bane and a boon. In that the use of AI has led to creation of so many problems and also so much of advantage. What is your take on the use of social media and artificial intelligence when it comes to the field of education, and how much should young people rely on this, given the fact that there are different universities apart from HSNC these days and they call themselves WhatsApp universities? So considering this, what is your take on social media?
Why talk about social media? Let's talk about anything that you have in life. Let's take a knife. You have a knife, you can chop vegetables, you can do your cooking, you can kill somebody. The knife is not good or bad. It's how you use your knife is good or bad. Anything that you have, technology, there's so much technology available today. Social media is one item. The mobile phone is something else. You use the mobile phone for WhatsApp, communication, reachability, accessing the doctor, accessing people, communicating to people, learning, doing your communicating the email and other things, arranging your calendar, working out your schedules. Mobile phone is so useful. Somebody uses it only to watch pornography. Is that good or bad? So is the mobile good or is the mobile bad? Mobile is not good or bad. It's how you use the mobile that is good or bad. So if you use the mobile good, it's fantastic. There is nothing wrong with the mobile. The mobile is the most useful instrument that has been created in the last decade. Social media is fantastic. It's unbelievable. There is so much learning that you can get from social media. The reach is tremendous. You can reach anywhere into the world. I mean, the communication reach is unbelievable. I cannot even understand it. I mean, I'm just trying to fathom how fantastic social media can. A couple of months ago, I traveled by local train, and my team from social media, including Hemant, who's sitting over here, recorded me traveling by local train. And when they put it, there's another girl of us who's also here, they put it on social media, and what happened? There was some magic that happened. Oh, this rich man, Mr. Niranjan Hiranandani, gone by local train. In order to save time, I went to Ulhasnagar from my Vikhroli office because I found that Google Maps showed me that it's going to take 2 hours 45 minutes to reach. And I found out if I went by train, I would reach in 1 hour, 5 minutes to Ulhasnagar, where I had a lecture for 3 colleges and a meeting with the 4th college over there. And I was going to be too late if I had gone by car. So I decided to go by train. But they put it on social media and I got 37 million hits. 3.77 crore hits. Can you even dream in any way of communication that an ordinary thing that I did would reach 37 million people? And I got 2 million responses and comments. 2 million people communicated to me. Now, this is a powerhouse where you can do good things and communicate good things in the world, or you can do bad things and communicate. You can create hate speeches. You can have communal speeches and put it in social media. You can cause hatred between religions and social people and other people and outcasts. You can have social media speaking against country to country. It can create hatred. Social media is not good or bad. It's how we use social media is there. So we need to be trained, we need to be disciplined, we need to be guided, we need to be mentored, we have to be taught. Whatever you have in life, whether it's money, use it well. If you misuse and abuse the way you throw your wealth and you do it badly, money is not bad, money is fantastic. It's a wonderful medium. So use it well and money is fantastic. Social media is same. So all the items of social media or whatever you have in life, learn to use it well. And I promise you, you will be very, very, very successful in life. But the moment you abuse the item that you have, whether it's a knife, or it is social media, or it is anything that you are talking about, we all have to learn how to use it positively. If you watch pornography and say, is social media great or good? The answer is it's horrible, it's terrible, but it's not. You are using it badly. It doesn't mean that item is good or bad. You murder somebody and you say knife is bad. Is knife bad? All of us use knives in our homes. It's not bad. Hotels use it, people use it, everybody uses it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a fantastic, useful instrument. A knife is very useful. If you want to defend yourself, a gun is good. But if you want to kill people, the gun is bad. So gun is not good or bad. It's the use of the gun is bad, which is good or bad. So I don't consider anything in life as bad. It's how you use or abuse that item of thing to do. And as young people, learn to be disciplined. Of course, you go a little astray to see what the hell is happening. But don't get carried away. I remember in school, in the late years of my school, smoking used to be a very common thing. And I was taken by a group of friends who said, why don't you have a smoke? And I did. And for 2 or 3 months, I got into smoking. Now, of course, students don't smoke as much. But we did. But I gave it up and I never have smoked after that. So it was the first 3-4 months of my life, when I was 18, 20, that I did smoke. Now, I could have become a chain smoker and ruined my health and had whatever necessary negatives to that. So it's up to you, really, what you have to decide. And there will be people who will abuse it, people who will misuse it. But you, I hope that you, sitting over here, will not abuse such things.
My last question, and then we'll open it up to the students, is a small rapid fire. It's not a serious conversation with Rajdeep Sardesai or Arnab Goswami, like I promised you. It is a quick, small rapid fire in terms of the first word that comes to your mind when I say the following words. We don't have a hamper at the end of it. We don't have a hamper at the end of it. But when I say real estate, sir, what's the first thought that comes to your mind? First word.
Happy home.
Finance, education and schools.
Everyone should get it. Finance should not be the issue for not getting education, at least in our country.
Entrepreneurship.
Huge opportunity in the next 5 years when you will reach Viksit Bharat. So all the opportunities in India is available.
Leadership.
Opportunity for everyone to take up that role. It's up to you to really step out and take it.
So the first bench or the last bench?
If you're a good learner, you can sit in any bench.
Is self-actualization a myth or reality?
Even I don't know whether I've reached self-actualization. So I don't know. It depends on how you judge somebody. If you judge me and you think I've reached that actualization I have, people at a very young age can actually reach self-actualization. But for me, I've still to reach there.
When I say youth, what's the first word?
Energy.
When I say India,
the greatest country which I love, and I think it has an opportunity to be the greatest in this entire earth.
so the last one is the one dependent on which we'll give you the non-existent hamper. When I say I.I.M.U.N, what's the first thought that comes?
Learning, getting the youth together and sharing ideas and thoughts which take them into the right path.